It was a good day today and got a lot done. Because I had cleaned up a lot of mistakes, had some mistakes in the ball game. We got cleaned up, and it was funny. Offensively, we did some good things in the game. Had a couple turnovers late after the game was out of reach, and we had to take care of that. But defensively, we had more missed assignments than we'd had in other games combined. Really, we had some busted coverages, and they didn't take advantage of them. So we need to get that. We had those cleaned up. So, but special teams got some things, got some pump, catches, and it's a pretty good day.
Sorry.
That's all right.
What are some of those things that you saw after looking at the film as far as offense that you kind of want to work on for?
Not much. Just take ball. We had a couple ball security things like that. Was it. Offensive was a very clean game, except for the two fumbles late. That after the game was 45-3. But other than that, threw the ball well, picked up blitzes well, hotted it out. That's what I said. It was funny. We had more missed assignments on defense than we did on offense in the game. And like I said, they had 2-3 busted coverages that if they just saw, could have been big time touchdown throws that they just didn't see. But that's good. Sometimes when guys don't take advantage of them and they miss them. And it was good for us to play as well as we did on defense, because I thought we were very dominant on defense. But if you look, there was a couple times they could have got us, and but we got to clean those up and we'll be good. It's like I say, sometimes on defense, if they don't take advantage of them, you don't see them.
What were some of those things on defense?
Just a couple guys blitzed at the wrong time. One guy was supposed to blitz, one guy was dropping, two guys blitzed, and we had a roll in a coverage one time, and they had verticals, for big plays, and they didn't see them. But things that communication-wise that you'll get, and we didn't catch them at the time as well. We knew we had them, but we didn't realize they was as big an issue. Could have been, but that's ball, man. Sometimes those things happen. But I thought our defense played tremendous in the game. They played very well in the game.
James, I know he told us after the game, you told us after the game, he thought he'd be okay, but of course he was.
Yeah, he's going to be banged. No, we knew that. He's going to be out a couple of days. We'll keep him down a couple of days. Had plans anyway, and a couple guys we'll keep out no matter what for a couple of days and let their bodies heal and rest. Even guys that could come out here and practice today, we'll let them heal up for a couple of days.
Is that like Menelek and a couple of those guys?
I know 2 doesn't necessarily make a trend, but each of the last 2 years when you come off the bye week, you've lost the next game. Is there anything from that?
No, I ain't even thought about it. That's a good stat to know.
I don't know.
This is a whole different team and a different situation. We'll do the same like we always do.
Kind of on the note in your defense, Saturday marked another time when a team's come in there with a big-time receiver averaging around 100 yards a game, and you guys have done a really great job on him.
Pressure.
For the quarterback?
Yeah. Ball's coming out. They did a nice job in cover. We actually we blew more coverages in that game 2 or 3 times in combinations than we did in other games combined, but the key was all day was pressure. We didn't get a sack, but we affected the quarterback. We got pressure on him.
So is that the case against, Wake and shutting down Campanaro, or I think
no doubt.
Sammy didn't do a great
Can't
job.
hold the ball, can't get it down the field. Pressure eliminates all that stuff, and that's what we did.
What kind of different challenge is a guy like Logan Thomas? So obviously, you want to pressure him, but he's like EJ in that he's a big body. He's tough to bring down.
But if you sit back and then you're passive on him, then you let him do what they want to do. You got to go play. You got to go at those guys, make them move. He can throw it, he can run, but we got to rush and do what we got to do. What we do.
One of the things we talked to some of the players about the other day, and it feels like we've talked about this in the past too, is creating turnovers on defense. Not necessarily that it has to happen with the way.
Well, it does. It does help. It's just when we're doing great. We're playing great on defense, but we're getting off the field, and like I say, on offense, we're controlling the ball so well in the field position with the special teams. But we'll start to create some. We did last year, and maybe as they throw it around more. But when you get a lot of 3 and outs and you control things, but what we're doing, we're affecting the quarterbacks well and having them throw it. They're having to get rid of it. And they're doing a good job instead of throwing it up, they're throwing it away.
You mentioned the 3 and outs. Do you almost consider those as good as turnovers?
No. Because if a turnover, you get it right there. You get a punt after that.
Can you elaborate a little bit on
But they're big. I'm all for them.
Elaborate a little bit on the pass defense and the pressure plus the coverage, and just how important that is. And it doesn't show up statistically necessarily.
No, sometimes you get sacks because of coverage. Sometimes you get it because of rush. Same thing with why quarterbacks are not hitting receivers. Sometimes you think it's coverage, but other times it's rush. It's just the combination of those things. You got to be multiple in all those things. That's why I said we were very lucky in that game, because we busted 2 big time coverages. They could have hit 2 big verticals and had touchdowns. They didn't see them. But that combination it's like, do you run the ball or do you throw the ball? Do you run to set up the pass or do you pass to set up the run? It's like, does the rush affect the coverage or does the coverage? It all goes hand in hand. You have to be able to do both and give the looks, and then you got to blitz.
The other thing that you all do better than just about anybody is get your hands in the air and affect the passing game that way, whether you're knocking them down or not.
Because the guys up front are instinctive. And sometimes you can coach that to your blue in the face. That's an instinct thing and a feel thing that we have some guys that really understand that and do it. Bjorn is probably as good as anybody I've been around of getting balls and batting balls. And that's truly an instinct. You coach that, but it's hard to really get that out if a guy really doesn't understand. It's a feel and an instinct thing, and Buellman and those guys do it really well.
How much of a feel thing is it with the running backs? Just talking to James after the game, he's saying the rotations is something they kind of are managing themselves. I guess Coach Grant says one's not feeling well.
Yeah, we do. We move them, and then who gets tired, who gets banged up, or how it gets hot in the game, and you get a sense for guys in the game, like a receiver. You want a guy's, he got that look in his eye and that bounce in his step. But the good thing in the matter, it doesn't matter. We don't mind checking plays to Lonnie. We don't mind checking plays to Wilder. We don't mind checking play. We don't mind any of those guys getting the ball. We feel very comfortable with all of them getting the ball, and that's a great luxury to have.
When you're in an environment like you're going to be in Virginia Tech, where does the crowd noise and the hostility and all that, where does it have the biggest effect? Is it in terms of just communication in the line of scrimmage, the offensive line, the back?
It depends. It just depends on who you are. If you're experienced and handling it, doesn't have any effect. I mean, you learn to communicate with hand signals, but it is with youth. It's more youth and the momentum of games, but it's always making sure it's in the secondary too. I mean, it can go on both sides. It can go on all phases of football. Communication is the key, and you got to be able to communicate in loud situations, offense and defense.
Is that something you guys are going to replicate this week?
Oh yeah, we will.
A bunch.
You pleased with how those guys have handled that, improved, and how they've handled that from NC State to Miami to hopefully what you'll see?
Yeah, we haven't had a lot of that miscommunication as far as not knowing or not hearing. The hearing part has not been a problem for us in any of those games, and as far as that goes.
Sorry if you touched on this already. Will you start, like your typical Monday? Will that be, I guess, Thursday or Friday, or how will that?
No, that'll go Saturday.
Okay.
That'll go Saturday. Saturday will be a Monday.
Marcus Elegway came back today. Noticed him back. Is that?
Yeah, no, he'll be back. I mean, he'll still stay as a redshirt guy,
exactly,
but he's getting at least he can maybe get out and run around his hand. He still can't have the contact with his hand, but at least some of his legs he can do some things.
How's P.J. Williams been doing? It seemed like he got in the game
Extremely
pretty early.
Well. PJ's going to be a great player. PJ, we have special teams, defense. We feel very comfortable with him in the game. He's going to be a player doing a great job.